Overpricing your home right now, going into the fall market and beyond, is financial suicide. I don't care how special you think your property is. Oh, it's so special. This market will chew up overpriced listings and spit them out. We're in a time right now where buyers are just really more cautious. I've never seen this before. More informed and less emotional than ever before. They have options. They have data. They have ChatGPT. They can spot an unrealistic price from a mile away. So if you don't know how to price strategically and present your home like a model home and navigate today's tougher negotiations, you're going to lose tens of thousands of dollars. Sometimes without even realizing it until it's too late. The market right now isn't one to test the waters. This is the market to have a plan and execute it perfectly. Let's get to it. First, I want to talk about the fall and then going into 2026 and kind of give you like a little reality check. If you haven't watched a lot of my videos, you don't know what I say and what I do, but I'm pretty much the real deal. I'm going to start with the big picture because right now, summer's coming to an end, fall is coming, and school's starting, and home sellers are thinking, what the heck will be happening going to 2026? Because it's not 2021 and 2022 during the pandemic when things were just going off the market crazy. And you can't pretend it is. It's just going to cost you money. Interest rates are still sitting at 6 to 7% depending on points, things like that. That means for every $5,000 you tack on your asking price could knock out a whole group of buyers who just can't make the payment work. And inventory is crept up in many areas. I mean, it's starting to creep up here in Philadelphia. It was going well for a while, but now it's creeping up. I was just on the phone with a home seller in Port St. Lucie. They called me as a real deal agent to help them find an agent. And the market is flooded with homes and builders, lots of new things. They're just giving things away, giving like 50% off all the incentives and structural things. And they're still building homes. And you know what that means. Buyers have so many choices. They compare your home against every other home in the price range before they even book a showing. And if you have to compete with a builder still building in your development, that's going to be very difficult. You're going to need every marketing trick in the bag. And you might even have to pay more compensation to find a real deal realtor. It's not just about getting reduced fees because your home's not selling. It's about finding that real deal realtor, paying just a little bit more, is going to get the job done. And they're going to tell you exactly what is going on with your market. And like I said before, buyers are armed with data. They're looking at recent sales, online valuations, school ratings, commute times, even neighborhood drone footage before they step inside your home. There's so much information out there. It's not an emotional, fall in love and throw money at it type of market anymore. This is like they're doing logic first. Show me the value. Buyers are tough. I have this beautiful 9,880 square foot home I just listed, and because 5 of the 6 bathrooms, they need updating. There's some vanities and lights and just little things. It's a beautiful house. The buyer wants to knock off $200,000. The master bedroom's fine, the bathroom. You're just talking, like I said, about throwing some vanities in and updating some lighting. And the floors are beautiful. Buyers want move-in condition right now. Even though they may not like the flooring you choose, put it in anyway, or just go neutral and just put samples, or you can also put samples out and say, choose the rug color you want, or choose the flooring, you get a $2,800 allowance, and we'll install it before settlement. But they might say, hey, no worries, we'll just take a credit. I talk about this in model home mindset. It's very important, model home mindset. And if photos of the flooring, like the flooring doesn't look really that great, you can just use AI, Gemini or ChatGPT, to change the flooring to what you want it to look like, to show them what it could look like. You gotta get them in the door, guys, because they're on their phone, they're scrolling like this. You gotta stop them with the photos. It's another whole video. Your home won't sell if buyers don't walk through the door, right? So you have to make the photos look like no work needs to be done, and then price it accordingly, and then give a credit. Allowing buyers to choose their colors, they love it. They love it. It feels like they're buying new construction. That's why you need a real deal realtor handling your sale. I'll find one for you. I just found 3 last week. I vetted them and I coached them. I don't just drop you off with some realtor. Really important, just get me on your team to sell your home. It doesn't cost you anything. I want to show you this room now. The hardwood floors underneath the rug were darker than what's on the outside because the sun had faded them. So see the rug there, right? This picture of the rug. So then what we did was we just used AI to show the floors without the rug and what it would look like. And we did this in 2 rooms, the office and the conservatory. And what we're doing, we're giving a credit of $3,000 because our guy will come out and sand and stain the floors whatever color they want. Fantastic, right? I say fake it till you make it. show fabulous photos, get buyers in the door, because money can fix most anything, but it can't fix an overpriced house because people just won't show up. So overpricing is the #1 deal killer, right? I can't sugarcoat it. It's the biggest reason homes don't sell or get any traction in any market at any time, especially now coming off of a market where buyers were paying like $30,000 and $150,000 over asking, 22 offers. Crazy, right? Too many sellers now believe that if someone's interested, they'll just make an offer, but that's wrong, especially in this market. If you're overpriced, buyers won't even walk in the door, like I said earlier. They won't see your home. And the buyers who could buy your home, they don't even have your home in their search because you're priced too above their level, right? They just keep scrolling. For example, if your target market buyer is looking up to 600 and you're priced at 649.9, the buyer will never even see your home because it's not in their search. You need to price it at $599.99 to get a ton of buyers into the home and possibly get more. I've seen it over and over again, and per this example, sellers say insist on $50,000 more than the comps support. They get no showings, no offers. 3 months later, they drop it to the right price, say $599.99, but now it's stale. Buyers think what's wrong with it, and the offers come in lower. That's what I'm talking about. Pricing, I think, is like fishing. Now, have you ever gone fishing? My grandfather would take me fishing and crabbing because, he said I was luck. I was a lucky fisherwoman, he would tell me, fisherman, he would say. And he said he would only catch fish when I was with him. So I would put my bait down at the bottom because I knew we were fishing for flounder. We wanted flounder. And flounders, they swim at the bottom, right, of the water. If you have your bait up here, you're never going to catch any flounder. So stop fishing with your sale price. I say a lot of this in my Home Selling Sharks book. The big shark that bites into value is overpricing, and once the sharks smell blood, that's buyer hesitation. Your negotiation is now from a place of weakness. You cannot support your price, the appraiser won't support your price, the buyers won't show up, and you're dead. And from my Model Home Mindset book, I talk about price it right from day one to maximize urgency, because competitive pricing creates that feeding frenzy of multiple offers, and that's when the market can bid you up. That is why we utilize my showtime strategy #8 here. The very first day the home is presented on the market, because timing is so important. When you go on the market, there has to be all this buildup ahead of time, okay? And I'm actually gonna do a whole video on that. I can't wait to do that. So ask yourself the hard question. What if I can't get my price? Now what? If you're not willing to have that conversation up front, you might be setting yourself up for a long, painful ride. It's grueling having your home on the market. So we can talk about market value. Let's talk about market value and your number. Here's something that a lot of sellers do not like to hear, but I say it anyway. Because I am the Real Deal agent, and I can find you a Real Deal agent in your area. So what do I say? I say, the price you want may not be the price that the market will pay. An appraised value is based on past sales. A market value is based on the current buyer's demand, the current competition, and current condition, and what a buyer is willing to pay, and what a seller is willing to sell it for. That's what it is. And if you got new construction down the street with builder incentives, like I said earlier, and you're an older home, no matter how charming it is, you have to compete with brand new everything. And if you're near an expressway or have a quirky lot shape, pie shaped or something, or you have a corner lot or a flag lot, or your home's on a hill or down a hill, or backs up to a perceived undesirable neighborhood, you have to price it differently. You have to price it with that perspective in mind, that there's a lot issue. There's an issue with your lot, your property lot, something you cannot change. Pretending location issues don't matter. It's like pretending buyers can't smell smoke. It's just not true. So another thing that's pretty real, what I say, and I say this to my YouTube people, because I'm not the realtor, I can keep it real with them even more. If the price you're hearing from realtors, they come through your house to do a thing, they say, oh, here's the price. That's going to be the price. That's it. Why wait 6 months, a year, and go through 2, 3 realtors to find that out? And then maybe sell it for less. The market could slow down, things could happen. Just price it right, sell it, recover your losses, and move into your new place. Just block it out, move on. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Why go through all that stress and aggravation? Other things that they talk about is sellers, we call it the now or later. Should I sell now or should I do later? Well, I've watched home sellers cling to their price for months, hoping the right buyer will come along, but the longer you sit, the lower your final sale price tends to be. And here's something most sellers don't realize, that an experienced agent they walk away from overpriced listings. I never work with an overpriced listing. Why? Because right now marketing costs are even higher, and next year will even be higher. Buyers are tougher, and agents can't afford to waste time on a property the seller won't price realistically. Any real deal agent's not going to do it. And yes, when I'm out there looking for agents, some will not take a listing if the seller's not going to be realistic. I found those agents, I'm telling you, I know because I am the real deal as well. I go out and I find the perfect real deal realtor who tells the seller the truth. And wham, the agent says to come back when they're ready to sell. One of the people I just talked to the other day, some agent wouldn't even come out and just gave a number out. I forget what the number was, I think it was 585, or some realtor was like 729, another one was like 640, and lowering their commission, and they'll pay for a home inspection. And then I call a guy on the phone, and he was like, the real deal. And he was like, 2.5, and here's what it's gonna sell for, and that's it. And I love this guy. And that's the kind of people you wanna work with. So the question is, are you ready to hear what the real deal agent will tell you about your home? Or would you rather be told what you want to hear and then go out making financial decisions on that high number? Maybe you bought another house, and then the price comes in what the realtor said it would, and now you're stuck with this new house and you're overbought and you can't get out without losing a big deposit. Is that what you want to do? From my model home mindset strategy, your day one buzz is your golden window. This is when your listings are fresh and your marketing is everywhere and buyers are watching closely. Blow that window and you can't get it back. Good stuff here. I got my homes method, the garden method, great stuff here. You want a copy? Just go down below and I'll send it to you. And if you sign up for a room by room, if you're looking to sell your house and you want me to come through with video and I can look at your house, I'll give you both copies for free. So what do I have to do? Where do I spend money where it matters? Let's talk about upgrades. Because if you overspend in the wrong things, that's another shark, by the way, that eats away your equity. Shark! I have a complete list of low-cost fix-ups. I've done several videos about this. I think it's time to do another one. People have been asking me to. It's coming soon. Matter of fact, my next live podcast is going to be in September, where I'm going to be 1 hour live. I'm just going to go through fix-ups and answer all your questions. I can't wait. Check out my channel for when that time is going to be. I'll be posting that date soon. So what upgrade should you reconsider? What about that $30,000 pool you're adding? You might not get that back. You install a pool for memories. That's why you install the pool, not for your pocketbook, or some luxury wallpaper that buyers are just going to rip out, or fancy valances that people know nobody wants, and shades, or expensive gaudy faucets or kitchen gadgets. You know, do not do that. They don't get the bang for your buck, but what does is freshly painting the house and keeping the trim white. My new paint color is Baby Fawn. It's amazing. Here's a picture of this house I was talking about with 9,800 square feet. Here's a picture of their foyer before we paint it. As you can tell, it had faux painting and whatever. And now, here's a picture after. You can see how brighter it is and lighter. It's just so much better. That's my paint color. Anyway, power washing, just cleaning the house, the exterior, all the cobwebs, update light fixtures and cabinet hardware. And when you're doing the power wash, don't forget to do the sidewalks and just make the house look clean. Power wash the house and do deep cleaning everywhere and decluttering. Minor kitchen and bath refreshes are always good with lighting and faucets and maybe a new floor or something like that. And my big kicker I do is I paint garage floors and walls, and I paint basement floor and walls. That sells. New shutters have been hot now. Paint the shutters that you have. And the front door and the garage doors, just painting the outside colors. I use a new color I've been using now for like almost a year now. It's called Iron Mountain. It's a grayish color, but it's rich looking and it's amazing. The Benjamin Moore. Maybe you need to put vinyl plank flooring in versus carpet. Make it look better. People want that. Their eyes gravitate to that. Maybe you'll upgrade your kitchen counters, put new vanities in, or paint the vanities and update the hardware. There's lots of things we can do. You want to do things that photograph well and feel move-in ready and create that emotional yes. I want this reaction. I want to see this house. So what I do, if you go to realdealagent.com, we'll set up a virtual room-by-room review on the Zoom. I go through the house, I give you the low-cost fix-ups, and then I find a realtor who can assist you in putting it all together so you can make top dollar. Low-cost fix-ups to create top dollar. And then you can ask for that higher price. That's kind of how it works. Or you can be eaten by the sharks. I love my shark. So guys, you need to prep like a pro. That's where my model home mindset comes in. You're just not selling a house. Remember, you're selling the dream, right? We're going to declutter, depersonalize, style every room for photography, because that's the big deal. That's the big day, I should say. The big day is the photo shoot. You work so hard for months and year maybe just for your photo shoot, because now and forever, I believe, especially in real estate marketing, your first showing is online. You have seconds to grab the buyer's attention before they scroll to the next property, right? So buyers are superficial. They're looking for that moving condition home, stainless steel appliances, updated fixtures, painting the trendy color. Like I said, mine is baby fawn with the white trim. Make sure you put the white trim. And that's where we help you and the Real Deal Agent I find for you. That's how we do it. So let me into your home, realdealagent.com. I can't wait to see it. I'm having fun with this. And don't forget, shark number 2 in my book, you have to do a pre-listing inspection. I did this for all my listings. I don't know anybody who does that has done that for 20 years for all of their listings. And I can coach the realtor I find for you on how to do this. It's not about doing the inspections, it's about the strategy after it's done. I still cannot believe to this day that no one does this. It's by far the best thing you can do, because home inspection is why deals fall through. I just did a whole video on that. I'm so far ahead of this curve on this one, so wake up, agents! And after the inspection, like I said, we'll help you with the strategy on what to fix. So it's fixing small stuff now so it doesn't turn into a big negotiating later on. Keep receipts and maintenance records. Buyers love that. It just shows buyers you've taken care of your home. And it lowers their guard during inspections if they plan on doing their own. And negotiating in this current market, let's talk about that. Buyers are just bold. They ask for $5,000 when something costs $500 to fix. I had an agent just told me on the phone that buyers asked for like $475,000 because every window needed to be fixed in this house. It really was like $100,000. So you need an agent who will not crumble under pressure, someone who can counter with facts, comps, confidence. And if you do these low-cost fix-ups and get the inspection done before you list the home, you'll find a buyer who does not expect things from you or who's picky. And a good realtor will know when a buyer is being picky, and they won't even get you involved with that buyer. Someone who's demanding. Just stay away from that buyer. I don't care what price they give you, they're gonna screw you later on. I'm telling you. The goal is not to just get an offer, the goal is to get the right offer, one that actually makes it to the closing table without you giving away your profits and credits and concessions. So, the one thing everybody needs is my room-by-room review. Come on, it's one of my sharks. When it comes to selling right now, going into the fall in 2026, there's one tool I give every seller I work with, the room-by-room review, and all my sellers online and YouTube. So just go to Real Deal Agent, I'll do it for you. I do it now if you're selling in 6 months or a year or 2 years. Get it done, you know? How it works is kind of we walk through your home. Obviously if you're here in Pennsylvania personally or virtually, if you're not, I look into exactly the way the buyer would look at your house. Identify these low-cost fix-ups, little improvements, little tweaks in presentation, make your home show like a model. It's not about spending tens of thousands of dollars on unnecessary upgrades. It's about knowing exactly where to invest a little time and money for the biggest return, right? Sometimes it's as simple as rearranging furniture, swapping out light fixtures, or painting 1 or 2 walls a fresh, neutral color. Baby fawn, my hot new color. White trim. And by the time we're done, you'll have a step-by-step action plan for getting your home market ready. So when the first buyer walks in, they're thinking, wow, this is the one. And after we get that all done, we share it with the agent that we hire for you at realdealagent.com. They have the plan then, and we can help them execute it. In this market, you just can't list a home, you have to launch it. And the room by room is how we make sure you launch it flawless. That's the idea, right? So I've been talking about this agent referral program, and I know other agents talk about it, but this is so different from what everybody else does. I'm just different from everybody. Everyone went right, I always went left. But anyway, if you're thinking, Diane, I wish you could sell my house, but I'm not in Pennsylvania or New Jersey, like I said, I can help. I have been building this huge network of vetted, top-performing listing agents across the country. They don't come cheap. You don't expect to negotiate commission down. These pros who market and price and negotiate like I do. So you go to realdealagent.com, fill out the form, tell me a little bit about your home, and we have a phone call. And then if you're ready, I personally match you with the right agent after we do the room-by-room review strategy, right? And then I kind of stay involved, or someone on my team does, all the way through to closing. I don't just hand off. It's more of a strategy partnership. I'm not your agent, I'm your strategist. So going into the fall market, it's coming a couple weeks. And going into 2026, the toughest sellers will be the ones clinging to yesterday's market. Yes, the smartest ones, they read the signs, they're watching my videos, they're gonna pivot fast, divorce themselves from their asset, work on things that they can control, like pricing, presentation, and the right agent. You cannot control your lot location, so if you got a corner lot or a flag lot or a busy street or hills and all those other bad things need to be better priced because presentation matters so much more. That's why hiring a real deal agent is very important. Because even if you can't change interest rates or buyers' moods, you can still protect your bottom line. And if you're thinking about selling as is to save time, you need to know the traps that can quietly drain thousands from your sale. You gotta watch this video, Mistakes to Avoid Selling a Home as Is. Not saying you can't do it, but you gotta watch this because it's a perfect follow-up to what we covered today. And it could be the difference between a disappointing offer and a winning sale.